All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I'm your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the crypto and really the crypto gaming markets. It's been the most explosive industry and sector in crypto for, I would say, the last week or 2 weeks, or even maybe even a month, with last month's Gala announcement when they acquired 20 million users. Then just last week, we see Amazon coming in saying that blockchain gaming is their leading way into the Web3 space. We all know the power of NFTs and Web3 and the match made in heaven that those are. And thank you for that, Alan. We have had some pretty good calls over the last month in the industry and really just getting into the value whenever it was presented in the crypto gaming industry. And we have such conviction. We're going to go over some alts that I still think have a lot of upside potential if we continue this rally, as well as just some projects with tons of long-term catalysts, sustainability that have continued to build through this bear market. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Like the video and subscribe for more every single day here on In the Game and Crypto Banter as well. Shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. Animoca Brands, the biggest Web3 gaming company in the world. ImmutableX, onboarding more games than anyone in the Web3 gaming space, powered on IMX. NordVPN, always use a VPN when you're navigating through crypto for the most protection possible, as well as Bybit, one of the leading exchanges in entire crypto space. Go ahead and hit the link down below in the description to check out more on all of our sponsors today. So we're looking at the markets and we're in the mid 23s right now, 23,376. But on our watch list here, if we filter and we look at some of these gains over, let's just say, a weekly period, because there are some definite gainers over the weekly period. We talked to Kieran yesterday from Illuvium. Illuvium is up 14% over the 24 hours and 54% over the 7-day time period. ImmutableX is up 41% over the 7-day time period. Some of these AI tokens are doing really well. Gala's up another 10% this month. Superverse up 12%. So the gaming industry is definitely getting a lot of capital. We saw Sandbox run. We saw different projects, like we even saw Steppen run. We saw Axie Infinity run. And now that money from Axie Infinity, where did it go? The Axie Infinity pump has now led into Illuvium, right? So like, it seems we're having this game narrative right now. And Becker tweeted something today to like look at a couple of games. Most of them didn't have tokens, however, but the money is definitely trickling down. We saw, like I said, Axie, Steppen, Illuvium. So where's the money going to go next? We always talk about getting in on quality projects that distribute a ton of games, a ton of projects, things like blockchain, things like studios, infrastructures like ImmutableX, etc. So let's dive into some projects that we are bullish on and still are presenting a ton of opportunity and haven't really gotten that liquidity yet, because, you know, these coins that are getting that liquidity, these coins that are getting that liquidity, there's higher cap coins at this moment in time. And exactly, we see in the chat, Gala millionaires inbound and big time just has land. Exactly, there is no big time token. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the altcoins we're going to be looking at today. Vulcan Forged, we've always had conviction on Vulcan Forged. We'll keep this one quick. $4 is the current price point, 10x from all-time highs, and it has been fluctuating between, I would say, 390 and 420 for the last week or so. But if we get that next leg up, I think that call that I made on 480 plus Vulcan Forged is definitely in play, especially with the things that they are building, guys. With their Metascapes platform, a metaverse as a service, build it yourself, or you can pay Vulcan Forged to build a metaverse experience for you. They released another teaser trailer, looks very top tier, the quality inside of these worlds that they're building. And they kind of compare themselves as eventually a Horizon Worlds competitor, which is obviously Meta's metaverse. That's weird to say. Meta's metaverse. And then we see 𝗕𝗆𝗄𝗆 here. Vulcan Forged is building Volcon 3 in New York City. And obviously, Skybridge Capital made I believe it was a $7 million investment into their seed round. Or not their seed round, it was their Series A round recently. And Skybridge and 𝗕𝗆𝗄𝗆 have been bringing things forward, helping them getting listed on Coinbase, bringing in top talent from EA Sports, from Immutable. There's so many top things that they're doing throughout the ecosystem, building not only their own games, but incubating other games on their Elysium blockchain. So the last thing we'll say about Vulcan Forged today, they're releasing a lot on their Vulcan. On the Vulcan Forged blockchain, which is coming live soon. The Explorer just went live, and they just released an article today talking about the upsides of their blockchain, super low gas, eco-friendly, and it is I believe their ecosystem does plant trees for the as the ongoing usage in time. I believe that is the use case. So you can take a look more into that in their links in their tweet today, which was posted. So, and they're also doing a lot of updates on their different games, which I love to see, because Jamie Thompson, as himself, will say that their games are not there yet. Their games aren't there yet. They're going to keep building that quality, is what they say. PYR triple digits next bull. I absolutely, I could see it. I'm not going to say I agree, but I think, I think 5 to 10x is absolutely in the cards whenever we're talking about Vulcan Forged. What about Network? My conviction on Network has definitely fallen over time. We would have to take another show to talk about the details on that, but there was just some drama within the team. Quality, 𝗕𝗵𝗫, PYR, UOS, Matic, WAS. I absolutely love that stack of coins right there. PYR is brewing. PYR is building. So the chat obviously has tons of conviction here on PYR. Let's talk about Gala. I think that even though they have had that 2.5x from that bottom whenever they acquired 20 million or so users, I think that despite the tokenomics in an uptrend, and we're seeing this unfold right under our noses with ImmutableX. ImmutableX doesn't have the best tokenomics, but whenever there's a market trend that is so crypto gaming heavy, that is so honestly bullish in this industry, it doesn't really matter, right? The market's been trending upwards, and the Web3 gaming market is trending upwards even faster. So ImmutableX is catching a ton of money. Gala's catching a ton of money. Projects like Illuvium are catching a ton of money. And whenever you're seeing something like Gala, if a market continues, and we do see that $25,000, $27,000, $30,000 Bitcoin, we're going to see Gala absolutely continue to take liquidity and continue to probably produce more gains on the upside. And whenever you see what they're building with not only the gaming side, but the film and the music, it's undisputed that Gala is definitely in that top quality stack. I would say a top 3 project in all of crypto gaming, if you were to have to put them in a quality ranking. And whenever the market is in this tremendous uptrend, and whenever crypto gaming is such the hot narrative, you can put tokenomics aside for the short term. Now, always know when unlocks are. You can use token unlocks. Look up token unlocks tracker, and it'll definitely come up online, and you'll be able to track these token unlocks yourself. But I think that in a uptrend or in a narrative like this, with Amazon coming in, with Apple building VR, with eBay doing NFTs, with so many big, Epic Games is into crypto gaming. Obviously, we've talked about that a ton. Steam is allowing Gala, their very own game, Superior, to come onto the platform. The adoption's happening right under our noses. And I think Gala's definitely got to be in your stack if you are looking at the future of the industry. Let's talk a little bit about ApeCoin. So I'm bullish on ApeCoin for the future. Getting behind Yuga Labs, having acquired Activision Blizzard's ex-CEO. Their old CEO is now the CEO of Yuga Labs. And I loved Becker's tweet today. Let's look at Alex Becker's tweet today. So Becker said, people are absolutely freaking out over Dooky Dash. I am an ape myself, but this is literally a game I could code in 2 days. Imagine when these games and other side hit. No, seriously. Imagine Dooky Dash's social media effect. Now multiply by 1,000. Easy money. So I agree with that 100%. I think that Dooky Dash is a very lazy game for them to have put out. I understand the community engagement that does gain inside of the ecosystem for all of the holders and the sewer pass holders, and it's a fun game to just be able to hop into and compete against each other. There's a scoreboard, there's a leaderboard, and the graphics aren't bad. It looks okay, but it's definitely a lazy game for them to put out at first. But I agree with Becker here 1,000% on the fact that whenever other side hits and it's a social media, if they nail the other side, which they're probably, that's where all of their chips are, right? And as 22 King says, they have the money to make better games, 1,000,000%. The war chest that Yuga has, it's probably going all in on other side. So if they sweep with sweep is not the word to use. If they really, hit and hit a home run with the other side metaverse, I think that it's undisputed that they're going to have a ton of upside potential. And yeah, I think that, Jeep Girl, I like UFO too. Ape and UFO are kind of like the meme coins of crypto gaming. And I think that, they are actually, both of those projects are really building some awesome stuff. But the narrative and the community sentiment behind those is absolutely very meme coinish. I agree. But there's a ton of upside potential on Ape. I agree with Becker here. But with the long term, with just the conviction in the ecosystem and everything that's going on, I think that it's undisputed that ApeCoin, especially in the next bull, I mean, at these levels right now, we're going to have a lot of upside potential. Let's take a look at Ultra. Ultra is up about 25% in this crypto gaming run, but it's slowing down on liquidity because those really top market cap projects are taking so much money right now. So Ultra, what's it missing, Johnny? Exchanges. What a question. This is a perfect question. So 𝗵𝗵𝗏 asked, Ultra, what's it missing? The only thing Ultra is missing at this moment, because Ultra Games is live for a certain set of users. People can get in there and actually use Ultra Games. This is what's this right here, 𝗵𝗵𝗏. It would be exchanges. They're only on Bithumb, KuCoin, Bitfinex, and Uniswap. So when you're looking at a coin, no matter what the quality, that's going to have an effect on its volume, right? So if you're not on, even Gate.io or any of these exchanges, but obviously the Binances and the Coinbases of the world, you're going to get the most liquidity. But the fact that they're not on anything like that, the biggest exchange they're really on is KuCoin for the most part. So I think that if they got more exchange listings, it's a no-brainer that they would just have more exposure and people would have more access to it. Because despite all of us here on Crypto Banter, if you watch this channel, to have, not your keys, not your crypto. Don't keep your keys on a centralized exchange. But at the same time, we need these listings on centralized exchanges for people who want that exposure, who are new to the industry, who do use these centralized entities to be able to have access to these tokens, to give us that. That's how awareness, and it's going to drive more people into these industry and into these tokens. New big listings would 10x UOS. Yeah, and it might not 10x, but yeah, it would really, really help if they got on more exchanges than what we see it on right now with just Bithumb, KuCoin, Bitfinex, and Uniswap. It's definitely hard to get your eyes on or your hands on if you're a retail investor, I would say. But there's tons of things that they're doing. The NFT Launchpad platform and the NFT marketplace, the Ultra Games platform with 150 plus developers and publishers coming to the platform. Ultra is on KuCoin. Yes, absolutely. Ultra is on KuCoin. And they did release a podcast today for anyone interested. We talked to their co-CEO, 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗏, a while back. And I think that that's definitely worth a watch if you're new to the Ultra ecosystem or you haven't checked that out. But they did a podcast today talking about the updates and things that are going on and everything that's releasing to the public. As they say, what's going on with the Ultra's development? How close are we to releasing everything to the public? The co-CEOs hopped on and addressed all of that. So definitely worth a watch. And then last but not least, one of the top ones that I have my eyes on would definitely be Superverse. Superverse with not only GigaMart, which I think GigaMart is really catching a lot of eyes and attention. I know a lot of people personally that have tried to just be shifting away from OpenSea as much as possible. And if you knew how, if you have used this marketplace, you would know how effective and efficient it is. I think your wallet and your assets just look a lot more visually clean in this interface. And I think it's just more of a trader's style platform. OpenSea is just so basic and just like Coinbase. OpenSea is just like Coinbase. And I definitely think that GigaMart, yeah, absolutely, Robert. GM is smooth operations. I really have enjoyed anything. I had to go buy some 𝗙𝗏𝗃 on here the other day, Ryan Pineda's project, for example. And whenever I did that, I went to here because they're, for some reason, delisted on OpenSea. So boom, I went to GigaMart and I was able to scoop that up immediately. So that was awesome. They are also building Imposters. And despite a lot of people's criticism about it's an Among Us copycat, okay, people can try to say that, but then if you pop in the demo and you actually play with your friends and you actually experience the game, and there's so many different things that he's added throughout the time. I mean, this is 𝗕𝗐𝗌's brainchild, and he's going to do everything to make this a success. I would absolutely be willing to bank in the overarching play to get me involved in exposure in Imposters and Superverse and GigaMart, and that's Superverse at 13 cents. And at this marketplace, or at this this market cap, we're seeing it about 130 million fully diluted, but a 55 million normal circulating market cap. I think Super has tons of upside potential. Let's kind of recap those tokens we just talked about. Vulcan Forged, Gala, ApeCoin, Ultra, and Superverse. I think that those still have tremendous upside potential. And I don't think the liquidity that has hit all of those tokens has come in yet. I think that there's more liquidity to trickle down in the industry because we're seeing it actively happen with all the top market cap projects and all the top metaverses and the top crypto games and platforms like Immutable. Immutable has run beyond being able to say it has tons more upside potential for now, right? Even though you could be bullish on it, you cannot chase these pumps, and anything above a 40% pump in a week, I would just advise to definitely wait for a little bit of a pullback before you reconsider. So that is why we didn't include stuff like that. But I think that everything we covered in this video, I believe it was 5 or 6 altcoins there, have a ton of upside potential. And then let's just review the watch list to close out the show, and we'll answer a couple questions. Any thoughts on WilderWorld? One of the coolest looking metaverse. They're the top project right now as far as a metaverse, in my opinion. If I had to pick a metaverse that I was going to go play, experience, hang out in, want to do socialized games in, WilderWorld's building some really cool things. And huge gains. I think that WilderWorld's an awesome project. Phantasma, still have a ton of conviction on Phantasma. It's, I believe, a $25 million market cap at this point. So I think that it still has crazy potential. And the cool thing that they've gone, the sentiment on Phantasma has gone a little quiet, but more games that I've seen are really onboarding to their platform. So it's actually impressive, despite people's it's such a low cap that it kind of slips people's minds, but they're definitely building. Yeah, $22 million market cap. 𝗕𝗆𝗄 is still building. I would definitely not invest in. It's up 20% this week, but 𝗕𝗆𝗄 is definitely still building smart NFTs, to be integrated into games and platforms. So a good project still, but I don't think it's the time to be delving into a ton of small caps. If you're going to go into a couple of small caps, definitely pick some really high quality ones. My top low cap at this moment, and one I'm have some exposure into, is WASDR, for example. And I have some WAGMI games as well. Those are my 2 low caps that I'm kind of dabbling in at the moment. UFO Gaming, I definitely, we talked about it earlier alongside ApeCoin. I definitely think they have tons of potential. Everyone asks about Nakamoto Games. It's a good project. I think that they're building a ton of cool stuff under their ecosystem. I just haven't done. I just don't do the day-to-day due diligence on it, and I'll check back, and I'll actually do if people really are interested, I'll do some due diligence and come back on next week's show on Nakamoto Games. Hero, I believe that's 𝗏𝗏𝗄. Cool technology, not there yet. Cool technology, not there yet. Gods Unchained. From a token perspective, I'm not too bullish. From a game perspective, I think they'll be around for a long time. I think they're an OG, and I think that that's a project that's going to stick around for a long, long time. Yeah, absolutely. I just gave you 6 altcoins that I think still have tons of upside potential and haven't really ran yet. So other than that, guys, I would still be looking at maybe 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗏 could catch a little bit of the pump and the money. I think Veracity still has tons of upside, for example. I think that if you're looking at a metaverse token, or not a metaverse, if you're looking into a AI token at the moment, I think Ocean Protocol would still probably be that one. Fetch and Singularity are running at the moment, and if you look at the 7-day, they haven't really ran. So I think that could be the AI token to kind of follow in that narrative. But other than that, guys, Vulcan Forged, ApeCoin, Ultra, Gala, those are some that I really think could still do a little bit of gains. Immutables ran too much. So Alice, Immutables ran too much this week for me to get more exposure to it at this moment in time. Very bullish on Immutable long term, but I think they're up about 42% this week. So I will let that cool off before we kind of review the sentiment and renew what we're looking at as far as the price on Immutable. So guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for coming around today's show. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for every single day content right here on Crypto Banter. We're going to be bringing you, all the top altcoins within the gaming industry. We've been telling you here on In the Game that crypto gaming and Web3 gaming is going to be the biggest sector, the most explosive sector, and the biggest use case. And so far, that narrative is playing out very, very nicely. We're going to have you covered here on In the Game all throughout the journey. So guys, like, subscribe. We'll be back on Monday. Miguel, thank you so much. Everyone have a great weekend, and I will see you on the next show. As always, play well, my friends.
𝗓𝗏𝗋𝗃